afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Food is often the centerpiece of the holiday season, and a holiday feast is often the family tradition. But during the holidays and throughout the year, there are Vermonters who go hungry. Today we're going to learn about nutrition programs that specifically help Vermont seniors. Joining me is Mary Woodruff. Mary is the operations team leader for the State Unit on Aging with Vermont's Department of Disabilities, Aging, and Independent Living. Also joining me is Angela Smith-Dieng. Angela is the executive director of the Vermont Association of Area Agencies on Aging. Thanks so much for being with us. Let's talk a little bit about the backgrounds of your organizations and the roles that you play. So Mary, talk a little bit about the Department of Disabilities, Aging, and Independent Living and the work that you do.
DALE, which is the acronym for Disabilities, Aging, and Independent Living, is one of the departments within the Agency of Human Services. And we provide a variety of services to Vermonters, specifically who are over the age of 60 or who have a disability. Nutrition services and health promotion disease prevention services are part of that package, and that's my role. It's to provide program management and oversight and technical assistance to the variety of community partners that we have throughout the state who are delivering these services.
Mm-hmm. About how many people receive these kinds of services?
Well, over the course of the year, we see it varies from region to region and area agency on aging to area agency on aging, but we serve upwards to 60,000 adults annually. Lots of it's based on how much funding we have to provide the services.
Right. Wow. And Angela, tell us a little bit about the Vermont Association of Area Agencies on Aging and what you do.
Great. Well, the agencies on aging have been working in Vermont for about 40 years, and there are 5 across the state. Together, they formed an association in 2007. And so as the director, my role is to work with the 5 agencies to do advocacy for the programs that we run for the 60,000 older Vermonters that we serve across the state. Also to raise awareness around the issues around aging and the work that the AAAs, as we call them for short, that we do. And then to find ways to better collaborate, better make sure that we're doing the best job that we can across the state.
And Mary, as a registered dietitian, why is it important for us to eat well as we age?
You know, I think the primary reason is to maintain independence. When we're independent, we have a better sense of well-being and we feel good. However, it's really challenging for many older adults because they live on fixed incomes and food is sometimes not the highest priority on the list of what they need to spend their resources on. Coupled with, we all change as we get older. And some of the primary changes that affect independence in older adults are muscle mass. We lose muscle mass, which makes it difficult to get up out of a chair, get in and out of a car, perhaps take a shower. Our sense of taste and smell changes. We tend not to get thirsty or recognize that we're thirsty. Plus, the food that we do eat, we don't make as good a use out of it. We don't digest it as well. We don't utilize what we're digesting as well. Many older adults have chronic conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, coupled with taking medications. All of that affects how we utilize the food that we take in and what we're able to do with it. So the challenge is there to eat really a nutrient-dense diet on a fixed income when you may not be feeling well, you have mobility issues, you don't have the appetite you used to, and food doesn't taste as good.
And it's not as much fun preparing a meal just for yourself.
Oh, it's not. And that's what the virtue is of some of the nutrition programs that we have, is that they provide people with an opportunity to socialize. And even for those older adults who receive a home-delivered meal or Meals on Wheel, they have contact with a volunteer. And while it may only be for a brief period of time, that little bit of socialization and encouragement from the volunteer can help somebody eat that meal and take in some of the nourishment that they need to maintain their independence.
Well, it sounds like a real sort of chain reaction that seniors kind of go through. One thing leads to another, leads to another. So I guess it's pretty critical to get stop that chain as soon as possible.
It is, and taking advantage of every program and resource out there can help older adults. You know, when I look at the 3 primary challenges around nutrition for older adults, the first one is protein, because protein helps us maintain muscle mass, and protein foods are often seen as expensive or a luxury on a fixed income, because for many people they see protein as being meat. But there are other options: low-fat dairy, yogurt, cottage cheese, beans and legumes, and then low-fat meat choices to help with their maintaining muscle mass. The second challenge is constipation. And with that, you want to eat whole grain foods to help get the fiber that you need. And then the third challenge, and this is around dehydration, and water is free. So that's where a fixed income doesn't really have anything to do with it, but it's the reminder in the cues to be sipping throughout the day and drinking with your meals to maintain a really positive fluid balance.
So what programs are there that will help seniors with this, that eat well as they age?
The premier program is the Meals on Wheels program and the community meals programs that are operated by the area agencies on aging, or the AAAs. And they're Dale's chief partners in this work. They in turn work with local service providers to provide the meals, make certain that they meet certain standards, and to utilize the volunteer force out there to deliver the meals. I would say that's the chief program out there for older adults.
And so how do people find out about Meals on Wheels, and are they eligible, and what do you have to do to be eligible, and how do you get involved with the program?
Right. So primarily I would recommend that folks contact their local agency on aging, because that's the way to find out if they are eligible. You know, Meals on Wheels and congregate meals are open to all adults regardless of income, and it's really looking at what they're, in terms of getting a home delivered meal, if they're not able to get out, then that would help qualify them. And if they're at nutritional risk, if they're not eating well now, then that meal could really be the key benefit for them. So really reaching out to the agency on aging and they'll come to the person's home. They'll come to your home and they'll talk with you and see what's going on and see if that meal would be what you really need. Or if transportation is your issue, but you really want to be able to go to the senior center and have lunch with friends, then they'll work with you on figuring out how to get there to make that happen.
Is it appropriate for a family member to call and say, you know, I know my mom lives alone, I don't live in the same county, is there a way I can make sure that she's getting the food that she needs?
Absolutely, and the Agency on Aging take calls from family members and friends and caregivers all the time, from either different places in Vermont or out of state, saying what can I do to help my parent in this way. So definitely give them a call. They have a wealth of resources. It might be that the meal is then the gateway to finding other programs and supports and services that the senior might not have known about that they might be eligible for.
And services for the caregiver.
Exactly.
So it's really seen as a gateway program to all the services, both federal and state, that we have resources to provide.
We should mention too that you know, Meals on Wheels volunteers are extremely important, not only because they're delivering the meals, but they're also kind of the eyes and ears of what's happening, and if they notice you know, a declining situation for the folks that they're delivering meals to.
Definitely. You know, I hear stories all the time of from volunteers who've, you know, knocked on the door and no one's answered, but you know, they call out and someone has fallen, and that's an opportunity to then, you know, help them through that. And so it's a real, the contact is really important, both for helping that senior stay connected, and also it's really a safety check, and that's really important. And I think it's also important to note that most of the volunteers that are delivering meals are also older adults themselves. So it's actually a really great way to give back to the community if you're able to.
And Angela, some seniors live on a limited fixed income. How can they stretch their food dollars to afford healthy food?
Sure. Well, in addition to the home delivered meals or Meals on Wheels and congregate meals served at senior centers, I think the other key program for seniors in Vermont that's really underutilized is 3 Squares Vermont, which is a program open to people of all ages to give them money to help them buy more food, buy healthier food.
Formerly known as food stamps.
Yes, it used to be called food stamps, but I often say that the program looks nothing like food stamps anymore.
Right.
It's very different. Eligibility has increased, so more seniors are eligible than ever before. And what many seniors don't know is that if you're 65 or older, your 3 Squares Vermont benefits, if you're eligible and you get the benefit, it's deposited directly into your bank account as cash. So it's you have that. It's private. You don't have to worry about what you do at the grocery store. You can use it for whatever needs you really have that month, and it's flexible. So it's a great benefit that we're really trying to encourage seniors to consider.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the barriers to having seniors participate in this program?
Sure. I think there's 3 key barriers to participation, especially for older adults. The first being that there's a lack of information out there about the program, or people think of the old food stamp program, as I said, when you had to rip off coupons in the grocery store line, which is not how it works now. So it's really key that we share accurate information about the program. There's a lot of misinformation about the program out there, that it's a program for children or families, or you're going to take away from them if you participate in the program, which is not how it works either. There's plenty of money for everyone who's eligible for the program. Many seniors think that they would have to use up all their savings before they can participate in this program, and that's not true as well. You can have savings, you can have a home, you can have a car, you can have all of those things. Some seniors find it challenging to apply for the program, and that's a barrier. And that's, again, where the agencies on aging, calling the senior helpline, can really help, because someone will come to your home, or you can go to the agency on aging's office, and they'll walk you through that application and make it much easier for you.
Mm-hmm. And and again, the nutrition is what's most important for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it can help manage chronic conditions or even improve a chronic condition. I think there's nothing more frustrating and challenging for somebody to manage their diabetes for 3 weeks out of the month, and then maybe get to that last week in the month, and they lack the money to buy the food to help keep their blood sugars within normal limits. They've done a good job, but then there's nothing there to help with that. And so managing chronic conditions through tapping into 3 Squares Vermont, into the community resources that the area agencies on aging can provide. And then 2 other programs that I just want to briefly mention that, depending upon the season, seniors can take advantage of, are the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program that the Northeast Organic Farming Association collaborates with Dale on to provide a small share, community-supported agriculture share, and then the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, and our partner on that is the Vermont Food Bank, and there, on a monthly basis, about 3,000 Vermonters receive a box of food that's delivered to their communities that can help augment their other resources. And so those are the programs that Dale receives some federal funding for, and then there's to say there are food shelves out there. And the work of the Vermont Food Bank to improve the healthy food choices within food shelves has been great, and that really helps people manage their chronic conditions, and they're not just forced to take staples that may not help them manage to the best that they can. They're offering fruits and vegetables now, and healthier food choices.
And a lot of food banks as well, and places where you can go pick up these commodities, have programs where they will not only give you the food, but give you recipes or show you how the best way to prepare, easy ways to prepare, whatever vegetables and fruits that you're picking up, which is huge.
Right, and I would just say too that there's really good research to show that these programs like 3 Squares Vermont and Meals on Wheels actually improve health outcomes for people. So it's not just that we think that they might have an impact, they really do have an impact on people's health, and thus their ability to be independent and stay in their homes and live the lives that they want to live.
I know we've covered a lot of territory today. People might be a little overwhelmed. What number should they call to find out about all these programs or start asking the questions so that they can take advantage of the programs that are out there?
Right. I would recommend the Vermont Senior Helpline, which is 1-800-642-5119. From anywhere in Vermont or outside, you call that number and you'll be directed to your local agency on aging. And so it's toll-free, it's it's private, and so you'll be able to ask the questions about these programs and get connected to the resources that you need. So that's probably the best place for people to start.
Terrific. I want to thank you both for joining me today. It's a great topic to talk about. That's
Thank
our
you.
program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.